Alright, hey guys. This will be my VOD review for game one of Elon versus Catawba. Um, just starting off while we load in, talking about draft. Um, we had a losing bot lane 2v2 in draft because we gave up Zyra Khan, which I think like overall that's fine. It's fine to give up Zyra Khan. We still had a decent lane, like Thresher Sana is fine. But like losing 2v2 in terms of push. And then we had the Vladimir into Akali, pretty even matchup. Lissandra and Orianna. Lissandra should be able to shove in the Orianna. So theoretically, we've got like solid topside triangle with good like losing bot lane 2v2 and great team fight composition. Both of them are great team fight composition. So that's basically what I'm looking at here. But our execution around that was where we definitely fell short this game in terms of like individual execution, because I think we had good plays and a good game plan, but it just did not translate to solid individual play. So So, we fan out our defensive set. Make sure we're not late off of the starting gate. It's a big deal. Buy items quickly, get to the front, and run off. So we get a defensive start. They stack 2 in Pixel. If we can bring everyone up to, if we're here, bring up to here, and then we'll see them walking out of Tri-Brush, and maybe even see them walking into Tri-Brush, be able to place a good, better ward. So they walk in and place Vision. I said this in-game where I made a mistake of not immediately going to place Counter Vision with Tristana. We should have pushed through here to try to get wards down. But I end up going delayed. I realized my mistake. And I get a Vision a ward down on the red buff. So we start topside with Leash. I don't think a leash was necessary here. I think it would have been better to hide the Lee Sin because, yes, they get a ward, but we know this ward is here. So what we could have done is had Lee Sin start top without a leash, hide where he is, path around that ward. You know, if you go to Krugs, go this way, path in front, draw Raptors down. Let's see if we do a vision toggle. If we do a vision toggle, we can see what they see. Oops, that's wrong team. Okay, they see the Raptor camp. So, but we could have pathed around it potentially if we needed to. So, we see Gragas start spot. He started Raptors, which is interesting. Gragas can do that leashless. I took an unfavorable trade early. Kali gets level 2. So this game was also tough because we didn't have Zach as our jungler. So, like, all of our normal game plans kind of weren't applicable. So basically, we know that Gragas is bot side. He's doing full bot side clear. We can generally infer that. And they know that Lee Sin was heading bot side based on their vision. So Gragas does power clear for level 3. And looks for a bot side gank. So I remember at this point I was calling for jungler to be bot side because the wave was slow pushing against us, and I had a suspicion that Gragas was bot side. So I called for Lee Sin to be in position for a counter gank with level 3, but we were already in the middle of the blue, and then we give up the kill. He waits there for a long time. Okay, yeah, so... Gragas doesn't know how to play Gragas. We give a first blood. Honestly, pretty well executed gank by Gragas. Because Lee Sin wasn't quite in position for a counter gank. Ping going mid. This was a play that I disagreed with because Lissandra is losing this matchup pretty heavily. So, might need to work on the laning there. Lissandra's losing this matchup pretty heavily. Gragas has showed bot. No red buff on Lee Sin, red buff on Gragas. Going mid here, I mean, it doesn't end up resulting in anything, but this was never going to work because we knew Gragas was coming up in this direction. As a jungler, it's better to try to secure second scuttle if we can. We know that Gragas hasn't been top at all, so we could go top side. It's definitely like we had full information of where Gragas was for pretty much this entire early game, or at least we should have. We should have had perfect idea of where he was pathing, but we did not capitalize on it at all. Because, yeah, we gave up first blood to that gank, and honestly, it was a well-executed gank on their part. But we don't account for how we can effectively punish Gragas, because even though they will come out on top by getting the first blood, we can punish without looking for a kill on Orianna. That'll never work. But taking away his camps, make him... Although he helps his bot lane get first blood, he gives up his farm, like, for example, Scuttle Crab or his blue. So I think we could have more effectively punished the Gragas on that first blood play. See, now we're already behind by a lot. Vladimir's getting shoved in, having a tough time in this lane. I honestly don't know what's happening mid. Behind an XP here, even though we're getting pushed in, so we should have more minions to pick up. So I'm not sure how we're behind an XP by almost an entire level. Behind an XP? Oh, we backed and didn't TP. So maybe, and also behind almost double farm at 5 minutes is really problematic. Need to shore up that landing. Also down massive CS. So, I mean, we're down by 1,000 gold, honestly, on CS, because, yeah, they got first blood, which is 600 gold injected in. But Lee Sin does still have a farm advantage on Gragas by a little. So, okay, we make the play mid. This was a good play. Solid gank. We had river vision control that I had set up. And I'm like, hey, I'm coming mid after my recall. Well-executed kill. Gets a kill on the Sandra. Should hopefully get farm back in our pockets. And also, we've got them slow pushing towards us, so we don't lose very much on that play. So it's definitely good. Orianna TP. Orianna TP is not pinged out. Cooldowns like that need to be pinged out. I talked about this in our last VOD review. Mid communication. We need to know cooldowns. Riverward spots. So at this point, I don't know if we're calling for a dive on Akali. Okay. So we see Gragas. No one pings it out. I don't know if we actually see him. So we need to better capitalize on where we have our wards and always looking at the minimap. That's, I mean, partially my fault, but everyone should definitely be looking at the minimap. Every time we see someone on a ward, we should always actually know where they are. Because I don't think we actually know Gragas' bot right now. Or we do. We do. Okay. No, we do. We play very respectfully here. But, of course, double CS. CS was a huge problem in this game, from what I remember. Double CS mid as well is really... I mean, we got a kill. Why are we sitting at tower right now? What is this? Whoa. Well, why are we back here? Look at all these... So we come back. Really, really bad slow push. Need better wave management. Bot lane plays respectfully of a possible dive. Because we don't have vision of Gragas and we knew he was bot side. And I don't understand this play. Especially because Lee Sin could easily... I mean, if we just like AFK'd in a game, that's kind of not, I mean, at least in my opinion, unacceptable. That's an entire wave and a half, 2 waves. Look at this, level 7 to level 5, 6 now, but a level and a half behind. I mean, that's really not good. They had vision of Lee Sin, most likely. Once again, getting the sweeper on Lissandra. I talked about this in the last VOD review. Not the play. Doesn't make any sense. Listen, mid lane does not need a sweeper. Lantern. And at this point, I know I'm dead. Yeah, get dunked. So, looking back at what caused this play, the initial Lee Sin gank, what we wanted. So we actually slip through vision here. But we take a really bad trade bot. Hook goes wide. So, yeah, so basically for this play, bot lane's already chunked out. We actually avoid their vision, right? Lissandra is feigning bot, but actually just clearing a ward with the sweeper. Also, it's on a control ward, so should be revealed anyway, but we have no vision of Gragas. We have the members committed bot, 2 people low, so this has the potential to start into a fight. Orianna has no TP, and we'd know that if it was pinged out earlier, which it wasn't. But they have the vision control. They should have control of bot side. As soon as Lissandra, because Gragas wants to come here first, as soon as Lissandra goes back up this way, they've got inside track to bot. This is an overreach. Because even though we see Gragas, I mean, this is just an overreach. Bot lane's way too chunked out to win this fight. On, like, BF Sword Xayah, double daggers Tristana. We just don't win that. And then Gragas comes in for cleanup because jungler's down, mid's pushed in. So that was just an overreach to go for because we did not have control of bot side to go for that play. And this might be the play where we lose the game because we give up 3 kills. As well as a lot of gold on tower, abysmal CS in both lanes. Down 4,000 gold at this point at 8 minutes is astronomical. Claw forward there doesn't make sense. Just take some more damage on the backside. Gragas is looking for a dive, and I believe we know this. But Lee Sin's in the area. So that was... I don't actually know if we knew Gragas was looking for this dive. This is where we really, really need Trinket Ward on our mid laner to be able to ward for... Mid lane has a massive responsibility to get wards on the shove at jungle entrances. So either here or here, to track the enemy jungler. And I talked about this in my other VOD review, and I really do not mean this as flame, but it's just something that I already talked about and was very critical of. And now, I mean, Gragas has had free reign because we have no jungle entrance wards at all. He's always in Fog of War. Now, thankfully, Gara was in the right place, right time, and we went for the play first because Orianna was trying to shove the wave in, but she had low mana. So we were able to collapse quickly, and Lissandra keeps her alive. So right place, right time here. But we easily should have found that play out. Good call out from bot lane, saying Orianna's missing. We know we have the freedom to go for this play because their mid laner's dead. Force Gragas flash. That is a good play. We know Xayah's not bot. So that was a decent way to snowball our advantage and get Gragas' flash out. But of course, after killing mid lane, even with the pressure, Lissandra backs, having the wave slow pushing against her, missing another wave and a half of farm. We need to learn wave management. Yeah. So wave management 101. You have more minions. The wave is not pushing into turret. It's not a center freeze where 3 melee minions, 3 casters. You have the extra melee and caster and the cannon. These minions, your influx of minions, kill this wave and push it all the way into tower. Now, Akali's here, so it's actually just an unfortunate situation, maybe. Because pushing this wave in obviously would have been dangerous with Akali here. Lissandra should TP back here and push out the wave. And we like not to use the TP. So yeah, that makes no sense. Especially with this fight happening, if we TP in here, we actually have a numbers advantage because we still know that Xayah is not here. Xayah is not in the area. Orianna has just respawned. This is the perfect time. We've got Tristana coming up the river, Lee Sin and Thresh 2v2ing support and jungle. So jungle support 2v2. Even Akali's heading back up top, which is not called out by our mid laner, which needs to be better communicated. This is perfect opportunity. Lissandra TP onto this ward and start a big fight. And then convert to dragon because it's 3v2. I don't know why we don't press for this. Orianna is clearly in base. They can't have more members than us. It's impossible. So this is actually a mistake. This is where we should have forced a fight and started clawing back the gold advantage a little bit more. And he checks for dragon too. So yeah, we should have forced that fight. That's a winning fight. Lissandra still has not used her TP all game, and it shows in the farm, which is incredibly far behind. I'm pinging out dragon because Gragas and Rakan have just gone for a reset. I don't know why we back off. Yeah, this was a really bad case of us not capitalizing on a power play we had bot side with jungler mid TP. We also have TP advantage top, which may not have been communicated as well. Yeah. So we also didn't communicate top lane TP advantage, so we could have the potential to bring all 5 members against 3. So this is a massive, massive, massive power play. This is a free dragon and free kills if they contest. And that would have brought the game back to even. So that was a massive missed opportunity right there to not go for a fight. And I mean, yeah, even though it's in vision, we had the tools. Preemptive flash would have been better for mid, but of course he survived, so it's fine. They have full control. So yeah, their game plan this game was very clear. Gragas was playing heavily bot side. Top was just unaffected, and Akali's winning the lane on her own. So we have a choice. Either Lee Sin try to match bot side, or pressure top and trade. Now, I think the better play this game would have been to trade. Because we had this massive missed opportunity. After this falls through, and Tristana, right now, actually, what we should do is recall bot lane right here, give up bot tower, bring, okay, Lissandra finally TP is good. Bring everyone top, try to get plate money and Herald and trade it for dragon, because we are getting slaughtered. I mean, this is ridiculous. We're getting destroyed in this bot lane 2v2 by the super fed Xayah. So we should have rotated our members top side and tried to trade objectives while they had the power play bot side. I mean, look at this. They've set this up perfectly. They don't clear my control word, though. So they've set this up very, very well for a bot side power play. We should, and like, we get zoned off this tower because we know everyone's bot. So we should go for a recall and bring everyone top now. We do go for a recall, but I think we go back bot, which is a mistake. No, we go top. So that, yeah, that's the right call to trade here. So what happens? Yeah, I don't agree with TPing bot, because I know we're trying to get more farm on the Vladimir, but we know they have the power play bot side, and since we're committing all of our members top, we should have just committed all 5 top, and split the farm top, instead of trying to defend this. We should have just traded. Because, I mean, like, it's obvious that all their members are bot side here. So yeah, we decided to do Herald. That's also a problem. What we probably should have done is brought all of our members top first, pressured off Akali, and then gone for Herald. So that's definitely a mistake on our part to just immediately go for Herald. But also, I mean, we need to avoid getting solo killed. And of course, if like Vlad was here, right, then that's another member that can match. So I think it just would have been a more efficient play to have all 5 members top. And then we rotate mid on Ori. This is a good rotation because, of course, since our top lane play falls through because Tristana dies. So instead, we decide we're going to get the Herald. We're going to go mid and kill Orianna because all of her team is bot, so we can just force. And we know Akali's reset. So this is a good play. But of course, we end up trading a kill and Herald, which is potential plate money, for first turret. 5,000 gold deficit. Really hard to come back from at 12.5 minutes. It's interesting that they still haven't done Dragon. I think Dragon's been free. This is a really bad mistake on my part. I don't see Rakan. I'm trying to just lay down some vision, and I don't see Rakan in Fog of War. And then I smack the Xayah to try to cancel a recall. That was just a greedy play and a big mistake. This happened at our previous scrimmage, too. We need to be more even in CS mid lane. Don't trade when all your spells are on cooldown, or when your Q's on cooldown, Lissandra, because you just end up losing that trade really hard, because you trade when your spells aren't off cooldown. And Orianna has all of hers up. So now we see them setting up for this dive. I rotate down. Yeah, recall. You're gonna die to a QW. You just saw that damage. That's just a free kill given over more gold, and now look, they have pressure here because originally we could have set up a play because we know that they only have 2 members here, or we can surmise that they only have 2 members here, and then of course we just can't anymore. So yeah, despite the pressure we've put mid, there is still an enormous disadvantage in the mid lane despite the pressure, which is really, if we're going to put pressure somewhere, you have to secure your advantage. Instead, we end up giving up over 2 towers and two kills. I mean, the game is out of our control at this point. 9,000 gold behind. We just get destroyed at this point. Face checking, no vision. in general, we've not been able to get very much vision at all this game because, I mean, we've just been pushed in the entire time. Positioning too far forward, your Q breaks on the minions. You only need to do it from max range. Tristana tower CSing, I mean, 54 CS at 15 minutes. This is what I'm talking about, how we got individually outclassed. These numbers. That's what's largely contributing. We would have probably, like... I think we'd only be at about a 5,000 gold deficit at this point, instead of a 11,000 gold deficit at this point, if we had CS better. Top was excusable because Akali was putting down an enormous amount of pressure with no jungle attention from either team. But mid and bot also got crushed, but from being there was a lot of mistakes in CSing as well. We could have picked up a significantly higher amount of CS there. And then mid, we've gone over it. So... Maybe like a 7,000 gold deficit, which is still enormous at 15 minutes, but it's not 11,000, which is just fucking ridiculous. Tristana has absolutely no reason to come top right now. We give up this tower for free. It's just a bad rotation. I was top to get vision. Lee Sin was clearing camps because he needs farm. This is actually a respectable jungle amount of farm, especially for how hard we've been losing. Lee Sin needs farm. I was getting vision. Tristana just walks up there for some reason. So we give up mid. I mean, if we had Tristana and Lissandra mid, they wouldn't have been able to dive like that. Might have been able to defend the tower with good wave clear. We also get nothing out of our Herald, so that's another 300 gold to waste. And means we lost that trade bot. So even when we attempted to trade, and as opposed to defending the wrong objective, we get nothing. 13,000 gold deficit. Oh yeah, we talked about another one where you just like AFK'd or something in the middle of a regular season game. I mean, come on. I really don't want to like flame anyone, but having this sort of inattentiveness in a match, like pretend you're like on the LCS stage right here. They don't like check their phone and AFK, you know. That is, I mean, you know, yeah. And then that was just a good shockwave, and I believe the game just ends. It takes them a while, but they end on this push, because we can't kill them all. So we're pinging that ults down, yet we're positioning this far forward when we could just try to defend. I mean, Lissandra getting chunked out by Orianna QW that you just don't need to. I have to go back to Fountain. So at this point, I'm saying we have to go, because if that, as soon as that tower dies, we just lose anyway. Then we don't even fight around our tower. We probably should have fought around the tower. But, I mean, the gold lead is so astronomical at this point that it probably doesn't even matter. But, I mean, just, like, you always got to do what you can. So this was just a game where we individually were severely outclassed. Lots of mistakes individually. 4 vision score. 2 vision score. We absolutely have to do a better job with more people getting vision. I mean, my vision score is unimpressive for support as well. 20 vision score is definitely not where I'd like to be personally. But we were getting our shit pushed in so far. There was only so much vision we could get. But in that early game when everyone's just sitting on like their basic trinket, get a warding trinket. when everyone's just sitting on their basic trinket, we have to do a better job of warding jungle entrances. If we have the shove, ward their jungle entrances. If we don't have the shove, ward our jungle entrances. That really, because we just did not track Gragas at all this game. He played heavily towards bot side, and we did not adequately respond to that because we did not have adequate vision control to track him. Last game. 18-minute loss. So, I think that there was definitely some things that we showed that were positive, but largely we were outclassed that game, and that's definitely a game where we need to look at and like realize that we have a lot to work on, and I try to outline some of it. Yeah, so that's game one.